Hello again, it's Garson, and we're going to do a quick guide for Patch 8's Eldritch Knight, because they did get an upgrade with War Magic, where you can now swing up to 4 times. 1, 2, 3. This guy's already dead, but I could swing another time with my bonus action and using Eldritch Knight's War Magic. So we're going to dive right into it. I'm going to give you a quick guide for Eldritch Knight. Let's dive in for the new, well, old subclass of fighters, the Eldritch Knight. And if you love magical knights, or you just want a fighter with a dash of magic, this is for you if you've never played it before. And a big thank you to you guys even requesting this. So I'm going to do this now that we've done all the new subclasses. Ready? So Eldritch Knight, I've cut it into some sections. You could skip around, but let's do a quick guide. What does it mean? I'm not optimizing or multiclassing the fun out of it. This is actually just a pure level 12 setup. It just gets to the point and does the new thing really well in patch 8. And I do have breakdowns, builds, and all that stuff in comments. Let's just have fun with it. So what is an Eldritch Knight if you've never played one? It's basically at level 3, it's a subclass that turns your fighter into a bit of a mix with casting, and you don't have to multiclass, and you have some spell slots available and whatnot, which as you can see are pretty limited, so you don't get the craziest stuff. So what does it actually do? Like I said, it enables you to have spell casting on your fighter, but you actually obtain spells and spell slots at the rate, a third of the rate of a caster normally would. We start this at level 3. You're not going to get a lot of spell slots. I am level 12, so just keep that in mind. You can use cantrips though, which is going to be very important with the new booming blade, and you can think of firebolt as a cool little ranged attack, so you don't have to use bows. You can bind their weapon, so if you bind your weapon, it can't be dropped. You could throw it. You can even make an entire build based on that, but that's not the point for today's video. Attacking can actually make opponents vulnerable to your spells with Eldritch Strike right over here, and it gives them disadvantage on spells after you hit somebody. And patch 8 now enables us to attack up to 4 turns at level 11. So this is pretty crazy. There's even the ability to learn the Shadow Blade spell, which is arguably one of the best weapons in the game now. So what are your actual stats if you wanted to do something like I'm providing here and just go all in on Booming Blade? I would say strength or even dex. Dex, you're going to need a finesse melee weapon. Otherwise, just go strength. I think strength's easier, more straightforward at the end of the day. There's more options for weapons. And we want to use a two-hander for a lot of damage since we'll be swinging a lot. So this is your accuracy. It's actually the accuracy for Booming Blade. It does not use intelligence. It's just your weapon accuracy. And it's also a damage bonus. So we'll be swinging a lot. We'll be accurate, we'll hit a lot. Intelligence, if you want to use your cantrips, or if you want to throw out some spell slots or spell scrolls, other than Booming Blade, this is your cantrip accuracy and spell accuracy, right? So there's also a damage bonus thanks to things like Arcane Synergy Ring. And then concentration and HP bonuses do come from your constitution. So those really are the main 3 stats you want to focus on. So I'll just highlight this. If you're going to start a new character, try and get a spread like this: 16 strength, 14 con, 16 int. And what feats, since you get 4 as a fighter, if you go to level 12, I highly recommend most people just get 2 strength. It gives you more accuracy plus all the other benefits like jumping and weight, carry weight. But the big thing here is you want to be able to hit your weapon, right? Alert is more important than people realize. It gives you 5 initiative, and since we're not using dexterity, we need to find bonuses to initiative. Initiative allows us to attack first every single round. Great Weapon Master is very important. Gives you a lot of damage, but at the cost of 5 accuracy, 5 attack rolls. So just keep that in mind. It's a really powerful way to amp up how much damage we're doing with Booming Blade and all the extra attacks. And then finally, last feat, do whatever you want. I think you should max out your strength. There's even a cool potion in Act 2 that gives you 2 permanent strength, busting us out of the limit into 22 strength. Okay, so what about equipment? I highly recommend the Falara Louvre. There's really too many details here, but basically you can use it as a 2-hander, a sword and board 1-hander, a dex weapon, a strength weapon, but more importantly, it's going to feel like a magical blade because it's got 2 powerful abilities. Most people would say use the Shriek, and on this setup, you're going to do more thunder damage every single time you attack with your weapon for 5 turns. Every short rest, you can use this, okay? So great weapon. Tons of awesome stuff about it. Arcane Acuity and the Battle Mage gloves are awesome. Let's keep this simple. This helmet and these gloves, which actually work now in patch 8. If you use these in conjunction every single time you're using Booming Blade and your extra attacks, you're actually going to get more accurate if you want to toss out powerful spell scrolls or spells, okay? So this is actually a really cool way to play a Magic Knight. Heavy armor is also really important. Since we went strength, you're just going to have high base armor, and the armor persistence is a really good choice for Act 3 if you save the tieflings. So the Night Walkers is a good recommendation so you don't slip on ice, but there's also the Boots of Speed I always recommend for melee characters. Gives you a dash on the bonus action. Elemental Augmentation, I really put this here more as a mention. You do not get any benefit for using Booming Blade with this Elemental Augmentation, and we'll keep it that simple. I don't know if it's bugged, it just doesn't work. But more importantly though, this will give you a little bonus to your Firebolt. The Arcane Synergy Ring, however, will activate based on Booming Blade, and so this is a nice little bonus damage from here added to your weapon strikes, right? So this is pretty cool. I would definitely recommend this because it's basically just a free damage boost. Free action ring is really important. You ignore difficult terrain, slowdown, and also you can't be paralyzed and restrained. Awareness, I would recommend you're a melee guy, or you can just use Firebolt at range. So awareness, and then the Hellrider Bow gives you an initiative bonus. Finally, how do you actually play an Eldritch Knight like this? In Act 1, go find some armor. Apply Long Strider. If your team doesn't already have it, I highly recommend Long Strider as an Eldritch Knight. Gives you more movement speed. There's Bound Weapon. Make sure you bound your weapon so nobody can make you lose it or drop it. Action Surge should be used two different ways. You can either have a very powerful burst round, even in the early game, or you could pop off effects like Falar Eluve, which uses a whole action, but could make your strikes more powerful 5 turns, or you could be using a spell scroll or a spell, right? So Action Surge could be that one turn where you can turn the tides thanks to the extra action you get from this, and then you'll be using this all game, so get used to when you should be popping it off. Booming Blade will not add damage just yet in the early game. Until level 5, you should still use it though. But enemies may move, and so they'll get this debuff applied to them and take bonus damage for moving like 2 feet. Think of Firebolt as your bow, or at least I do. I think of this as my range attack, but you should really close the gap and just kind of beat people up in the melee range. You're going to do the most damage that way anyway. Thunderwave or physically throw people off ledges is also a good time. You can one-shot people if you push them off the right cliff. And find the Arcane Synergy Ring because it's just a free flat bonus from your intelligence. But find the Arcane Acuity Helmet and the Battle Mage. In the Shadowlands, you can find this helmet, and you can find these gloves, and these will give you the ability that as you attack with your weapon, you're ramping up your accuracy and spells just to keep things really clean cut and simple. So Booming Blade now actually does Thunderblade. You'll feel like a Spellblade, and it enables the ring, so it's even more extra damage, the Arcane Synergy Ring. And you also activate War Magic, so you now at level 7, you'll be able to use your bonus action as an additional normal attack. So Spell Scrolls also give you the access to spells you wouldn't normally have, so look for these in vendors. They do refresh upon level up or a new day, like long resting. So go ahead, try and find some spells that could really add to the flavor of your playstyle. And Great Weapon Master does have the ability to toggle on and off. So if you're fighting a boss you keep missing, it's better to just take the weaker damage but hit rather than missing all the time. So use this when you know you're going to actually hit. Act 3, more of the same. Just keep swinging Booming Blade and extra attacks. Use Spell Scrolls. You can get more Spell Scrolls, way better options from the store in Lower City. It's insane. There's also eventually 4 attacks at level 11 like we were talking about. For multiclassing, look for the stars while we level up. This is the multiclassing stuff. I think level 3 is pretty good to just add in because you get the fighting style, Action Surge. You can use any armor or weapons, level 1 spell slots, and you get access to cantrips like Booming Blade. Pretty good multi-class. We'll go into whatever else you want. Level 4 is your first feat, so you may want to grab that. Level 5 is really good because if you're going to use a weapon, you really want extra attacks. So you'll Booming Blade and still get your extra main hand attack. Level 6 could be really good too because you get a second feat early on. Level 7 though is probably one of the best because you can now use the Booming Blade War Magic bonus attack combo, and you have your level 2 spell slots. If you go a little further in multi-class after level 8, you'll have a third feat, which is kind of crazy. You'll have access to Shadow Blade, and you can actually upcast this using an elixir. So level 9, you get Eldritch Strike. This makes things, when you attack them, they have disadvantage against, say, a spell save spell like Dexterity Lightning Bolt here. Level 10, maybe don't multi-class. It's your third cantrip. Okay, that's kind of cool, but level 11 is probably, you'd be surprised what you can do with one level in a multi-class, but that's actually pretty good because now you have everything you'll ever need, and you get to attack 4 times with the combo. But if you didn't multi-class, you get a 4th feat. And then tech, okay, let's get a little nerdy here. Here's some advice. All fighters at the end of the day, everybody's going to tell me how to run Eldritch Knight. The cool thing about Eldritch Knight is there's so many ways to run it, including multi-class, okay? So you can see all crazy kind of examples. I've run stuff like this for myself. You can even use some special weapons that use your intelligence rather than strength or dexterity. Be on the lookout for those. Spell casting, it doesn't say, this is kind of an annoying glitch, but it does not say what your accuracy and spell attack are. So just for the formula right there, if you need to know it. But I did set up this video as just more of a Booming Blade quick guide to just get you in there and feel like a magical fighter. In terms of what spells you should choose, just enhance. Again, if you're not familiar with casting, just go with enhancement. Blur is a great choice because now it's harder to hit you, but you do have to concentrate on this. Misty Step allows you to teleport around using your level 2 spell slots, so that's pretty good. Otherwise, you really need to learn how to be a spellcaster, and I have different videos for that. Replacing spells, there is a little trick. I'll show it very briefly. There's this little trick when replacing your spells, you can get access to the full spell list. This is kind of annoying. So if we back this up, take one of your spells you're not using from the limited spell pool. Next level, you'll be able to replace the spell, but you'll have access to all the spells. It's kind of dumb. It's kind of annoying. I think this is how you get Shadow Blade at level 8, the earliest you can get it on the class. Okay, so Shadow Blade is likely the strongest weapon. It's pretty crazy, especially if you upcast it using an elixir to get a level 3 slot. Just a little trick we talk about in a different video. The ring version is still available though, and it no longer needs concentration. This was always something in the game, but now you have a spell version which can be upcasted to even more damage, which is crazy. If you do use Shadow Blade, just replace Great Weapon Master with Savage Attacker for more damage. Booming Blade is also, once again, just your weapon accuracy, so don't worry about intelligence casting modifier, but it does get stronger at level 5 and then level 11. Even if you multi-class. In fact, all cantrips evolve. Doesn't matter if you multi-class. So Firebolt would go to level 5, get stronger, and level 10, it gets stronger. And then War Magic, the whole point of this, once again, it just synergizes. There's no other cantrip that does this because this is considered a weapon attack and a cantrip. So you get all your extra attacks and you get War Magic on the bonus action. So that's 4 attacks in honor mode, and if you actually burst out with Action Surge, you'll get another Booming Blade and 2 more main hand attacks. Eldritch Inertia could be cool. It could help you land powerful spells, but this is why, if you do really want to throw out spells, that's why I gave you the advice to go with Arcane Acuity. So it only applies to your spells though. You hit at a target, and now they have disadvantage on saving throw spells, not spell attacks. This doesn't really play out very well unless you focus on it or understand casting, but just for some advice, you could use Action Surge or Be Hasted or Speed Potion and then pop off a spell or a scroll with the enhanced accuracy and disadvantage. So Arcane Acuity is so much to talk about. I'll leave a video about it. Otherwise, go play the new Eldritch Knight, because I have videos showing off how to play these builds. I'll leave them in the links. There's playlists showing me playing on the live stream, especially all the new subclasses. So just come join the live stream. You never know what we're playing, and I'm ultimately trying to show you and inspire you to play honor mode so you can play it any way you want, not just the craziest, strongest stuff too. So I love answering questions and comments. You guys are my sponsors. Thank you for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. I'll get out of here. This was a quick guide for Eldritch Knight.